What is up, you guys? It's Susan Morad right back here with Clever News. And first and foremost, it's election day. I hope you've already voted or have plans to vote today. This election is too important, so make sure you cast your ballot. And in light of it being election day, we're looking back at some of the celebrities that current President Donald Trump has either fought with, called out, or slammed over the past few years. Starting with Taylor Swift. Over the past few years, Taylor Swift has become more and more vocal about political issues. And she hasn't been afraid of denouncing Donald Trump publicly, tweeting things like, "Trump's calculated dismantling of USPS proves one thing clearly. He is well aware that we do not want him as our president. He's chosen to blatantly cheat and put millions of Americans' lives at risk in an effort to hold on to power." And Donald Trump's ineffective leadership gravely worsened the crisis that we are in, and he is now taking advantage of it to subvert and destroy our right to vote, and vote safely. Request a ballot early, vote early. Taylor has also endorsed Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to her hundreds of millions of followers on social media. Well, this all hasn't sat well with Donald Trump, who spoke out against Taylor back in 2018, around when she first started speaking up about political issues. Donald Trump had previously praised Taylor before he was president, even calling her fantastic. But when Taylor spoke out against Republican candidates running in her home state of Tennessee, here's what Trump had to say.
"I'm sure Taylor Swift has nothing or doesn't know anything about her. And let's say that I like Taylor's music about 25% less now, okay?"
Meghan Markle is another celebrity who's been outspoken about her dislike for Donald Trump, and he's even thrown shade right back at her.
And with as misogynistic as Trump is and so vocal about it,
Right.
That's a huge chunk of it. You're not just voting for a woman if it's Hillary just because she's a woman, but certainly because Trump has made it easy to see that you don't really want that kind of world.
And this year, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry used their voices to encourage voting. They went against typical royal family protocol and spoke about politics.
Every 4 years, we are told the same thing, that this is the most important election of our lifetime. But this one is. When we vote, our values are put into action and our voices are heard. Your voice is a reminder that you matter.
Harry and Meghan went on to say that they reject misinformation, hate speech, and negativity, many things that Trump has been accused of. Obviously, Trump wasn't so fond of the royal couple's remarks. He specifically took a dig at Meghan Markle shortly after their voting PSA came out.
"I'm not a fan of hers, and I would say this, and she probably has heard that, but I wish a lot of luck to Harry, because he's going to need it."
And Meghan isn't the only woman Donald Trump has dragged when discussing a famous couple. Last year, Trump also called out Chrissy Teigen when talking about Chrissy and John Legend. Chrissy and John are both vocal about their dislike of Donald Trump, but last year he clapped back and dragged them both on Twitter. It all started when John appeared at a criminal justice town hall that was hosted by the NBC nightly news anchor Lester Holt. John discussed the USA's broken criminal justice system and his organization Let's Free America that aims to help transform the system.
And your governors are doing in your state, those are the laws that affect most of our incarceration population, not the federal laws. Also be aware of what's happening with district attorney elections. A very underrated aspect of this is how much discretion a district attorney has in your community.
Trump seemingly wasn't thrilled with John's statements and took to Twitter to air his grievances out with John and Chrissy. Trump attempted to defend his administration's criminal justice reform and said Obama couldn't come close to what he's done. Trump went on saying, "Guys like boring musician John Legend and his filthy-mouthed wife are talking now about how great it is, but I didn't see them around when he needed help getting it passed." The hashtag filthy-mouthed wife quickly started trending on Twitter after Trump's post, and John responded to the nasty tweets. He said, quote, "Imagine being president of a whole country and spending your Sunday night hate-watching MSNBC hoping somebody, anybody will praise you. Melania, praise this man. He needs you. Your country needs you, Melania." Trump also hasn't been shy about spewing hate at some of the most beloved stars in Hollywood like Meryl Streep. Yes, you heard that right. He came for Meryl. Trump spoke out after Meryl's powerful 2017 Golden Globe speech, where she spoke out against Trump's immigration reforms without naming him specifically.
"So Hollywood is crawling with outsiders and foreigners. And if we kick them all out, you'll have nothing to watch but football and mixed martial arts, which are not the arts."
She went on and called out Trump for making fun of a disabled reporter back in 2016.
Someone he outranked in privilege, power, and the capacity to fight back. It kind of broke my heart when I saw it, and I still can't get it out of my head because it wasn't in a movie. It was real life.
Trump went on Twitter after Meryl's speech and wrote, quote, "Meryl Streep, one of the most overrated actresses in Hollywood, doesn't know me but attacked last night at the Golden Globes. She is a..." Yeah, he went there and came for Meryl like that. One of the most overrated actresses in Hollywood? Pretty sure her 150 awards and over 400 nominations prove otherwise. And these are just a few examples. Trump has also called out plenty of other stars who've spoken out against him, like Deborah Messing, Jimmy Fallon, Oprah, Bette Midler, and so many more. And as we said earlier, today is election day. If you have any questions about where to vote or how to find your polling place, we've linked some resources down in the description for you. If you want more on which celebrities Donald Trump has actually blocked on social media, click right over here for another Clever News video. And also let us know down in the comments section below if you've already voted or what your voting plan is. I'm your host, Susan Morad. I'll catch you later. Bye guys.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Emil and it's Junior back here with Clever News. And Kendall Jenner is being criticized by both fans and even other celebs for her Halloween birthday party that she threw over the weekend, where there were over 100 guests and no mask in sight. Just in case anyone forgot, yes, we are still in the midst of a pandemic. In fact, last week the United States broke a tragic record with around 100,000 cases in one day alone. That's the most in a single day since the whole thing started. But that didn't stop people from going out and partying this weekend, even without masks. And no, I'm not talking about scary Halloween masks. You know what I'm talking about. Kendall Jenner in particular is under fire for throwing a big birthday party amid the COVID cases rising. Kendall, whose 25th birthday is tomorrow, had a star-studded bash on Saturday night with A-list guests like Hailey and Justin Bieber, The Weeknd, Winnie Harlow, Doja Cat, and Jaden Smith. Now, additionally, many of Kendall's family members, including Kim Kardashian, Kylie Jenner, Kanye West, Scott Disick, and more, were all also in attendance. Kendall's party took place in LA at Harriet's rooftop bar, but currently the guidelines in Los Angeles state that, quote, residents that gather with up to 2 other households should do so only outdoors, wearing face coverings and keeping 6 feet of distance the entire time. Now, obviously that didn't happen at Kendall's party with over 100 people in attendance. According to Entertainment Tonight, guests reportedly had to take rapid COVID-19 tests before entering the event, and TMZ actually reported that the guests were asked not to post on social media of any kind, but that didn't happen. Many of the celebs that were there at the party shared pics of the event on social media, like the Biebers, who shared these pics, The Weeknd, who shared this video, Kendall herself actually shared photos from the photo booth, and Kylie even shared this video of Kendall blowing out the candles on her birthday cake. A fan reshared Kylie's video and wrote, quote, okay, Kendall Jenner blowing out candles as a masked waiter holds her cake and tries to move out of the way was actually the scariest thing I saw on Halloween. And speaking of fans, people on Twitter had a lot to say about this gathering, with many calling it irresponsible and disappointing. This fan wrote, not all these celebs posting about wearing a mask, social distancing, then showing up to Kendall Jenner's party. Eat the rich. Another fan tweeted saying, can all these celebrities, aka Kylie Jenner, Kendall Jenner, Justin Bieber, Nikita Dragun, Jaden Smith, to name a few, stop being ignorant towards this virus? There are people that are dying. You don't need a Halloween party. That same person followed up in another heated post writing, because they all had a test and donated to charities does not justify their ignorance. They lead by example. Y'all kicked off over Tana Mojo partying, so what's different now? It's your fave? Nobody, whether working class or famous, should be partying. Test or not, y'all stupid. And another fan chimed in saying, they don't care about Corona because they have access to top medical facilities and medications. But what about other average people that they can infect who don't have any type of advantages they have? Other fans pointed out problematic Halloween costumes at the party, with many looking at Jaden Smith's costume. It's unclear what exactly Jaden was dressed as, but many fans thought it was a COVID patient. This person shared a photo of Jaden writing, not Jaden Smith dressing up as a COVID patient for Halloween. Apart from attending that Kendall Jenner party, he's making fun of the situation. My mom and my aunt are asthmatic, and they were rushed to the hospital with oxygen many times. I'm beyond disgusted. Another fan wrote, is that Jaden wearing a hospital mask? Not gonna lie, I'm actually disappointed in him. I expected better. And this person said, apparently Jaden Smith is wearing a see-through mask because he dressed up as a COVID patient, a f***ing COVID-19 hospital patient. If this is what he dressed up as, then he can seriously f*** off. But not every celeb out there was partying this weekend. For example, Ariana Grande took to Instagram and wrote, quote, "Please dress up, take photos, get in your PJs, and stay your asses home because the spookiest thing going on tonight is still this massive pandemic." And Miley Cyrus, who shared photos hanging at home and reading a book on Halloween, was also seemingly upset about Kendall's party. Fans have been pointing out on Twitter that Miley even went as far as unfollowing a bunch of the celebs who were at the event. This fan posted screenshots of Miley's Instagram, and it looks like she unfollowed Kendall and Kylie Jenner, The Weeknd, and Saweetie. So clearly fans weren't the only ones upset about this large gathering. But to find out why Kendall's sister Kim Kardashian was criticized for her birthday party, click right over here for another clever video, and then let us know your thoughts on Kendall's birthday party down in the comment section below. I'm your host, Emil Ennis Jr. You can find me on Instagram at Emil Ennis Jr., and I'll see you soon right back here on Clever News. Bye guys.
What's up, you guys? It's Susan Morad right back here on Clever News. And Selena Gomez fans are deeply concerned for her health, as many noticed an IV in her arm during a recent Instagram Live. Over the past few weeks, Selena Gomez has really been doing her part in bringing awareness to fans surrounding the presidential election, as she recently hopped on multiple live streams with vice presidential candidate Kamala Harris, Michelle Obama, Stacey Abrams, and Timothy Chalamet as he stood in line to vote. But it was during last week's live stream with Timothy when Selena sent fans into a panic after many noticed that she was hooked up to an IV that was attached to her left arm. This was especially alarming considering many fans are aware of Selena's past medical history, as she received a kidney transplant from her friend and actress Francia Racer back in 2017 due to complications from lupus. Over the past week, Selena hadn't addressed the reason for wearing an IV, as thousands of concerned reactions from fans who tuned into the live stream came flooding in. One user who shared screenshots of the IV that became noticeable in a few different frames throughout the 10-minute video wrote, "Praying for Selena's health, and I really hope she's doing well. I can't imagine what it's like to live with such a terrible autoimmune disease. Sending you so much love and hugs." Another fan tweeted, "Love you. I'm kinda worried for you. I just saw the IV inserted in your arm. I know lupus is a hard battle for you. I adore you and hope you feel better soon, you poor angel." But after days with no answers, good news, Selenators. We can rest easy, as TMZ reported yesterday that according to sources close to Selena, the IV was nothing but a vitamin drip. According to the outlet, Selena, quote, "gets the IV drips regularly, and they have nothing to do with her lupus or other health issues." Sources went on to say that as for why she chose to do the vitamin drip in the middle of a live stream, quote, "it was just a timing thing and Selena didn't care to hide it." The fact that Selena chose not to hide the IV drip doesn't come as much of a surprise, as she's been open about her struggles with her mental and physical health in the past. During her chat with Kamala Harris, Selena further opened up about her mental health journey and admitted that after reading and researching, she can't stop thinking about, quote, "how deep that this country is being affected mentally." She added, quote, "I've had so many dreams about, creating places that people could go to. I think there's a part of me that wishes we had some sort of place that felt like, okay, maybe you just need to get help." This led Kamala to open up about her sister's lupus diagnosis and how it affected her family. However, she was optimistic about tackling the mental health crisis in the near future with Selena's help. At the end of their discussion, Kamala even told Selena, quote, "I look forward to working with you on the other side of this, on the mental health issues in particular. Thank you so much." Selena and Kamala's discussion was met with massive amounts of praise from fans who continue to look up to Selena and commend her for being so open and relatable about her struggles. As for now, we're so happy to hear that Selena is in good health and is ready to fight for the future of her country for the betterment of the people. And to see how Selena plans on working with the White House, you can click right over here for another clever video. Then be sure to let me know all of your thoughts on Selena's recent live in the comments section below. I'm your host, Susan Morad. You can find me on Instagram at Susan_Morad. I'll catch you later. Bye, guys.
What's up, y'all? I'm Emil Ennis Jr. back here with Clever News, and Johnny Depp just suffered a major loss in his libel case against a UK media outlet after attempting to clear his name of allegations claiming he abused his ex-wife, Amber Heard. Now, in case you forgot, Johnny Depp and his ex-wife, Amber Heard, are currently in the midst of an ongoing legal battle following allegations of domestic violence based on evidence Amber submitted following their divorce in 2016. Now, a year after the divorce was finalized in 2017, Amber wrote an op-ed for the Washington Post where she spoke about the treatment of women in domestic violence abuse cases, stating, quote, "I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force of our culture's raft for women who speak out." And before we continue on with this news update, I just wanted to issue a trigger warning as we will be discussing very heavy topics, including physical assault and domestic violence. So please only continue watching if you feel comfortable doing so. Now, regarding the Washington Post article, although she never mentioned Johnny by name, Johnny in turn sued Amber for $50 million for defamation, denying that he ever abused her, and allegedly claimed that Amber is not a victim of domestic abuse, she is a perpetrator. He also claimed that Amber's allegations were part of an elaborate hoax to generate positive publicity for herself. Now, in Amber's follow-up court filing that attempted to dismiss Johnny's defamation lawsuit, she detailed multiple accounts of alleged abuse that she claimed occurred during their marriage, and even referred to Johnny as the monster. Photo evidence sent in by Amber allegedly revealed bruising on her face around her eye, as she also reported that she still had scars on her arms and feet following an incident where Johnny allegedly threw her through a ping pong table and dragged her through broken glass. She has also since filed her own counterclaims alleging defamation against Depp in the same lawsuit. The suit is still ongoing, but Johnny has since filed a libel lawsuit against UK tabloid newspaper The Sun after they shared an article published in 2018 with the headline, "Gone Potty, How Can J.K. Rowling Be Genuinely Happy Casting Wife-Beater Johnny Depp in the New Fantastic Beasts film?" The article still remains on The Sun's website, however, Wife-Beater has been edited out, most likely in response to the libel lawsuit Johnny filed against the tabloid. Now, in the lawsuit, Johnny sued The Sun's publisher News Group Newspapers, as well as The Sun's executive editor Dan Wooten, over the article that called him a wife-beater and claimed that Johnny was violent toward Amber during their marriage. The case went to trial earlier this year, with Amber being The Sun's witness as she shared evidence including photos, audio recordings, and text messages alluding to multiple accounts of physical abuse by Johnny. And it appears she was pretty convincing. Earlier today, the court ruled in The Sun's favor as Justice Andrew Nichol dismissed the lawsuit, reportedly stating that the defendants proved that what they published was substantially true. Attorneys for News Group newspapers argued that the article was based on overwhelming evidence that Johnny had in fact assaulted Amber on multiple occasions during their marriage. In his ruling, Nichol stated, quote, "I have found that the great majority of alleged assaults of Ms. Heard by Mr. Depp have been proved to the civil standard." He added, quote, "I have reached these conclusions having examined in detail the 14 incidents on which the defendants rely, as well as the overarching considerations which the claimant submitted I should take into account." Not only does this defeat have potential to ruin Johnny's career, but he may be forced to pay millions of pounds in legal fees following his loss. Now, aside from his libel lawsuit, the same judge who dismissed his case also examined the shocking claims that Amber defecated in the ex-couple's bed and stated that the mess likely came from one of her pets. Under a section of the ruling headlined, "Feces on the Bed," the judge said that the alleged defecation was relevant because it, quote, "led him to conclude that his marriage to Ms. Heard could not continue and sparked one of their many arguments." Nichol's ruling concluded, quote, "For what it's worth, I consider that it is unlikely that Ms. Heard or one of her friends was responsible, noting that this happened while Johnny was away, which means it was Ms. Heard who is likely to suffer from the feces on the bed, not him." The judge also provided evidence that one of Amber's dogs, Boo, had an incomplete mastery of her bowels after she had accidentally consumed some marijuana. All right, so this is all a lot to take in. I'm right there with you, but these losses don't stop fans from chiming in on the outcome of Johnny's lawsuit, and the hashtag Justice for Johnny Depp has even began trending on social media. One user wrote, "Amber Heard winning the case is like saying, if you're a man, then you can't be the victim of domestic violence, and that is f***ed up on so many levels. Johnny Depp deserves justice, and Amber Heard should pay for what she did with him." Others are standing by Johnny, claiming that he is the victim of domestic abuse, like this fan who tweeted, "Dear men, your voice is important. Your stories are important. Your heartache and what you have been through is important. You are important. We will not allow you to be silenced anymore." And this person said, "I just got home from work to find out that Johnny Depp lost his libel claim against the scum, and you wonder why male victims don't come forward. An absolute travesty in my opinion." Johnny nor Amber have yet to comment on the verdict. However, it's probably best that neither party engages in any further public discussion, as his defamation case in the United States is still ongoing. Should more details become available surrounding this case, we will do our best to keep you updated. To see why the White House reportedly called out Billie Eilish, click to the right to watch another clever video, and then be sure to let me know all your thoughts on Johnny's libel lawsuit down here in the comment section below, and if you think this should have been a win for him. I'm your host, Emil Ennis Jr. You can find me on Instagram at Emil Ennis Jr., and I'll see you soon right back here on Clever News. Bye, guys. After months months of celebrities urging us to vote, Election Day has finally arrived in America. So the day to cast our vote for the future of America has officially come, but as celebs continue speaking out on matters they feel most passionate about, some opinions have since been met with so much criticism, resulting in a complete loss of their most loyal fans. So over the past few months, celebrities have been taking advantage of their platforms with the potential to reach millions by actively urging fans to vote, but they've also been speaking out on important issues based on differing political policies. However, when doing so, they opened the floor to a wave of discussion, backlash, and criticism from people who either agree or completely disapprove of the message being relayed. Many have even lost loyal fans and followers in the process, so the question remains, what is one willing to potentially compromise in order to voice what they feel is important for the world to hear? Demi Lovato made her stance very clear when releasing an entire song directed toward President Trump called Commander-in-Chief. The song made headlines for Demi's powerful and emotional lyrics singing, quote, "But you can't get enough of shutting down systems for personal gain, fighting fires with flyers, and praying for rain. Do you get off on pain? We're not pawns in your game." Although she earned massive amounts of praise, Demi was also harshly criticized for attacking Trump and angering Republicans who support him, some of which even threatened they would no longer listen to her music and were ashamed. Demi shared one response of a user who wrote, "I hope you realize this makes people who don't have the same political views feel like they can't listen to you anymore. I'm personally ashamed to be a Lovatic right now, but no matter how hard it is, I'm not letting this song change my feelings about you, especially after everything you have helped me with." Demi responded by saying, "You do understand as a celebrity, I have a right to political views as well. The difference between me and the type of artist you want and expect me to be. But I'm sorry, honey, that will never be me. I literally don't care if this ruins my career." Demi went on to explain that she simply made a piece of art that stands for something she believes in, and while she understood the risk that it came with, she'd, quote, "take integrity in my work over sales any day." Taylor Swift only recently made her political stance known, as she's proudly endorsed many liberal candidates over the past few years. She used to be notably hush-hush about her views, which angered many Democrats, and allowed for people to begin projecting views onto her, but just before the 2018 Senate race in Tennessee, Taylor began sharing petitions in support of LGBTQ+ rights. She even called on the White House during her VMA speech, telling fans, quote, "You voting for this video means that you want a world where we're all treated equally under the law, regardless of who we love, regardless of how we identify." Her consistency and efforts in shedding light on political agendas angered many Republicans and even caused President Trump to state that he liked her music about 25% less now, following her endorsement of the Democratic Senate candidate Phil Bredesen in Tennessee over Republican candidate Marsha Blackburn. Former fans have chimed in writing things like, "Mixing your politics with your music can only accomplish one thing, a reduced revenue. I saw you on Riverfront with curls and cowboy boots and have followed you ever since. Now I press skip every time Spotify attempts to insert a song of yours in the playlist." And another person said, "I really thought you were a very smart lady, but this has turned my thoughts around full circle. I don't understand how anyone that had a brain would consider doing this. Sorry for your misjudgment on this very important matter." Something tells me Taylor really couldn't care less and is likely still going to sleep with a massive smile on her political palette. Vince Vaughn, on the other hand, was chastised by many fans after a video of him conversing with Donald and Melania Trump at the 2020 College Football Playoff Championship in New Orleans, and even shaking his hand. The video went viral, which caused an eruption on social media, with thousands claiming they'll never watch a movie of his again, while another user wrote, "That tells me all I need to know about Vince Vaughn." Although Vince has previously described himself as a libertarian, fans have been angered over his views in supporting Republican candidate Ron Paul back in the 2008 and 2012 elections, and he was also previously outspoken on his stance on gun violence during an interview with British GQ in 2015, claiming he was against gun-free school zones and banning guns in general. So naturally, shaking President Trump's hand came as a continued slap in the face to many Americans. Chris Pratt has been making headlines after actress Ellen Page outed him in supporting a church known to be famously anti-LGBTQ, to which he responded by sharing to his Instagram stories, quote, "It has recently been suggested that I belong to a church which hates a certain group of people and is infamously anti-LGBTQ. Nothing could be further from the truth. I go to a church that opens their doors to absolutely everyone." Chris also began to lose followers after many noticed that he neglected to take part in the Avengers virtual hang held last month, where fans received access to a Q&A if they made a monetary contribution to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's campaign. Avengers stars including Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, Mark Ruffalo, Zoe Saldana, Paul Rudd, and Don Cheadle participated in the event, but many were quick to point out that Chris Pratt was noticeably absent. This caused fans to search for any evidence they could to prove that Chris was a Trump supporter, and based on some of the accounts, he allegedly has been following infamous conservatives Ben Shapiro and Dan Crenshaw on social media for a while now. Although it has been reported that Chris's wife, Katherine Schwarzenegger, is a Biden supporter, Chris has been noticeably silent on the matter, which hasn't seemed to bode well for fans. And finally, Mark Wahlberg's stance on political views involving celebrities and using their platform to support a given party has landed him in boiling hot water over the years. Back around the time of the 2016 presidential election, when hundreds of celebs endorsed Hillary Clinton, Mark was asked why he didn't get involved in or openly endorse a given party, to which he told Task and Purpose magazine he felt that, quote, a lot of celebrities did, do, and shouldn't give their political opinions. He attempted to back his claim by saying, people aren't listening when celebrities get political, adding, quote, they might buy your CD or watch your movie, but you don't put food on their table. You don't pay their bills. A lot of Hollywood is living in a bubble. They're pretty out of touch with the common person, the everyday guy out there providing for their family. Mark also argued that he feels more aware of the issues other Americans are facing because he exists in the real world. He said, although I can navigate Hollywood and I love the business and the opportunities it's afforded me, I also understand what it's like not to have all that. This sparked mixed reactions from many, with major criticism as fans chimed in by saying things like, quote, they should be allowed to voice an opinion if they want to, just like we all can, even if you agree with them or not. It's called freedom of speech and democracy. Another person said, just because you're not involved or aware of what's going on doesn't mean everyone is. A lot of actors care and pay attention. But Mark continues to keep his political views private, and it seems his stance isn't likely to change anytime soon. But to see which other celebs have spoken out, click right over here for another clever video, and then let me know your thoughts on all of this down in the comment section below. I'm your host, Emil Ennis Jr. You can find me on Instagram at Emil Ennis Jr., and I'll see you soon right back here on Clever News. Bye, guys.